Hi, welcome to the Real Issue with Ayaki. Welcome to all our neighbors. Wherever you are, we want to groove a little bit. It's the weekend. We want to dance a little bit. So move your body. Hey. You're welcome, everyone. Hi, so you're all welcome to the Real Issue with Ayaki. This month or this quarter we are looking at work-life balance, and in our world today, we're leaving home. Most people are leaving home very early to work and getting back home quite late, having less time for yourself, family, and all the other things in between. It has become more common and rampant these days, but the truth is that we need to take care of ourselves as well and make time for our families who matter to us, and make sure that we are healthy financially, we are healthy emotionally, we are healthy physically, and our mental health is fine as well. But how do we make sure that we have a good balance between achieving our professional career success while taking care of ourselves, or while taking care of our families and all the other things that matter to us? And so this evening we have our special guest who would be helping us in that regard. Mr. Stephen Boafo will be helping us to do that. And so you are welcome, all my neighbors. Thank you for joining us this evening as well. We are grateful for making time for us. Now, our sponsors would like to acknowledge them. Certis Accessories and More, for all your lingerie needs or your clothing needs. Please follow them at Certis Accessories and More, Certis GH. And then also Frangdo Travels for all private and group tours. Please link up with them for the experience of your life. And then Apavon Concepts. Apavon Concepts does all the design, the artworks you see. They do website designing as well. All your branding needs. Please follow them at Apavon Concepts on all social media platforms. And so thank you for joining us again, and you are welcome. Our guest is actually online. He is here with us. Please share the link to invite somebody else to also join us. I see MF, I see Boy Meets Girl, I see J_A_A_official. Wonderful topic, thank you. Afole21, thank you. ADB Benz, Nana Kweku 11. We are grateful that you make time to join us this evening. And so Mr. Boafo is here with us. Hi, Mr. Boafo. So our topic we are focusing on whilst we wait for our guest. Our guest is actually online. So whilst he joins us, he sends in a request to join us. We are looking at work-life balance. Like I said, these days there's a lot happening. You attest to the fact that we go to work. There's a lot happening at work. And you also want to grow. You are probably schooling or trying to upgrade your skill one way or the other. And then all the other things that are taking or pulling our attention, they are also happening. How much time do you make for yourself? Are you even able to make time for yourself to relax, do something to rejuvenate? Or by Monday, you're already exhausted, you're already tired. How best do we make sure that we don't end up being overstressed or burn out at the end of the day, and end up using all the money we make on hospital bills and all of those things? So that's what we are focusing on today. Mr. Boafo, can you hear me, please? Please share the link. Hi, Mr. Boafo.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi. Is it better?
Yes. I believe we can hear you. Our neighbors, please, can you hear us? Neighbors, can you hear us? Oh, please let us know if you can hear us. Okay, so Mr. Wafo, you can hear me. Great.
Yeah.
So I've told our family here, we call them our neighbors. They are our neighbors here. And so I've already okay, thank you. So you can hear us. Thank you. So I've already introduced what we are doing. In fact, they even know what we are talking about today. Before we even talk about everything, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself so that our neighbors know who you are, please?
Okay. My name is Stephen Boafo. I'm in corporate throughout my life. I've been working in corporate for the past 20 years. I've worked in Unilever. I started my career as a company rep in charge of foods. I moved into territory management, being a regional sales manager for the northern sector, central western Accra. I've had stints of work in Manila, Philippines on expatriation. I've been a head of new business for Unilever and also head of capability. And then I moved the past almost 3 years to join GB Foods, where I work there as the director of route to market and sales capability. I'm married to a lovely wife, Abena, and I have 2 kids, Nana and Pua. So
Okay.
that is the for you.
Okay. Thank you. So our neighbors, please, that is Mr. Stephen Boafo for you. So we are looking at work-life balance, and somebody will ask, I mean, what's all this whole work-life balance about, and why is it so important, especially now in this fast-paced world? Why is work-life balance? Why is it even an issue to talk about? And so we want to know what work-life balance is and why the need to even talk about it now.
I think that work-life balance is extremely important in today's corporate world, not only because it is a combination of your personal life, your corporate life, and your aspiration. Because if you look at the way we live, we virtually spend most of our time at the working environment if you are a corporate person. If you are not even corporate and you are in the markets selling your wares, you spend a couple of time there. And so there's a need for you to have a good balance between work and your personal life. And also the things you live in and the things you would want to enjoy. And if you are able to have a good balance, then we are saying that you are somebody who is able to have a very fruitful work balance. It is also important that, and let me say that if you don't practice good work-life balance, it would affect your productivity. It will have effect on you, stress, and like Hillary Clinton once said, he said, don't confuse having a career with having a life. We all have a life, and you cannot separate your life from your work. And so there's a need for you to always have a fine balance between the two.
Okay. I mean, these days, I think AI has been in the system for a while, but now the issue of or the topic of AI is even causing quite a bit of a scare, especially among young people or younger employees or even people in the tertiary institutions as well. Because now you are told that your work, some computer is now coming to take over, or AI is now taking over everything, which means that some jobs might be even redundant at some point. We are looking at also the economic situations in Ghana and then across the world as well. A lot is happening, and everybody is trying to make sure they work extra hard to get some to make ends meet, and then to also have a very comfortable life. And so these days, just like what you're saying, I realized that we work more. We are moving from one business to the other, one job to the other, or we are always on the move and not even making time for ourselves. And so I'm just agreeing with you that now, even with the AI and the economic situation has also made it. It has also made it more. It has worsened the situation, if I can say that. But I was going to ask what makes a person experience an imbalanced life, but I think you've kind of captured it. So I think you kind of captured it, but if you could throw a little bit of light on it for those who are not sure, the separation.
Oh, okay. There's a separation between work-life balance and imbalance, what we call imbalance. Usually, when we talk of imbalance, it means you are unable to achieve the desired results, achieving both your personal and your career goals simultaneously. So once you are not able to find a fine balance between the two, then we say there's an imbalance. And increasing, there's a lot of stress in the system, and once you see this, you are able to ask yourself, how are you going to manage all this stress and still be able to have a good balance? And that is where most of us falter. And so once you falter, then there's imbalance, and that is where you have to juggle between the boundaries that you have to deliver your job if you are working, if you are home or family, you have to make time for them. And if you have a career that you are passionate about, you also have to ensure that you have a fine balance between that.
I hear you talk about fine balance, but let me ask, is it even possible in terms of, let's say, the number of hours? We have 24 hours. We spend about 8 to 9 hours. That's like the minimum, 8 to 9 hours. For those in corporate, you can do extra and all of that. But is it possible to actually separate the day and have half of it for your career or your profession, and then the other half is it possible? Or the balance can be in another, it can be in another way. It doesn't have to be at the middle where one part goes here and the other part goes there.
No, I think that you can have a fine balance. There's no perfect work balance. And for me, it is important, and that is what we need to accept. There's no perfect work-life balance. Okay. So that is why it's always important that you find a job or a career that you love. Once you do something you love, you do not get tired, and you are able to get the best out of it. And it's also important that you have coping mechanism so that you will be able to find a good balance between what is expected of you and what you need to also do in the corporate world. Because I think most of us in corporate, we tend to believe that for you to be able to deliver your numbers, it means you have to focus on your job. Data shows that is truly false. Anybody who has a fine balance, having a free life, what we call in some say, having a free life and having a good balance between his job, he's able to give off his best more than people who believe that, let me focus all my energies on delivering only on my KPIs at the office. And so this is, for me, what is important that all of us needs to understand. But what I would consider as a fine balance or work-life balance may be different from you, because I have a different aspiration from yours. And what I consider as important may be different from yours.
Okay. So there's no perfect work-life balance.
No.
What do you consider as a work-life balance may be different from what I consider as work-life balance, but definitely finding a way around it so that you are not overwhelmed by the other. But this one is just on the side. Is it even possible to? We are talking about work-life balance, but is it possible to, in these days, is it possible to have your life or your personal life or your family life overshadow your work life? I mean, you are a director, so I'm asking this one on the side.
No. I think you cannot have because of the way we live and the environment we find ourselves. It's important because work is also part of you. We should not assume that work is not part of us. So there's no separation between work and our life. In fact, if you are not working, then you have a challenge in life. And so we should not see that if I go to the office and I spend 8 hours, 10 hours, that is something different from who Steve I am. And so you need to have a fine balance. And when you, that is why I say it is also important that if you look at the current environment, and every company wants you to deliver some volumes for them to be able to pay you because they are buying your service. And in doing that, it is also important you ask yourself, what do you yourself as a person aspire to be? So if you are able to find what I call a level ground to say, within these 8 hours that I'm going to work, I want to give off my best. And when I close from work, I have a family, I want to spend quality time with them. Some people believe that during the weekdays, they will not have enough time for their family. So then they make a decision to say, every Saturday, I want to spend quality time with the family. That is how they consider somebody is religious and believes that I need to go to church. If I cannot do that during the weekend, I want to spend time. Some people like football. They want to spend time to play football. So these are things that they do to regain the energy for the subsequent week. And if you do not understand this, then and you are only doing work, I'm sure you break down. And today there's a lot of stress in the system, so you need to really look at that.
Yes, last month, just last in April, we talked about stress and then burnout. We were looking at stress, burnout, and then wellness as well. So I'm sure our neighbors know what exactly you are talking about. As for the stress and breaking down, I'm sure we know exactly, and we don't want to get there. But Mr. Bafo, in your experience, what are we've heard so many things. There are so many things when it comes to work-life balance. You hear different things. Everybody's saying so many things about it. But what are some of the common misconceptions or myths about work-life balance that you would like to help us debunk today, so that at least we know what is real, what is not real, what we can do, and then how to go about it as well.
Okay. So I think there are a couple of things that maybe we need, as we look at, we need to understand. For me, some people believe that if we talk of work-life balance, we are only interested in you delivering your numbers and what have you. But there are a couple of things that I would say. One would be, there's a perception that work and our way of life are opposites. But I just want you to know, and that's why I indicated, work and your own life are not opposites. They are intertwined. And so if you are unable to fine-tune your work and your life, then you are not living as a normal human being. And that is one thing we need to. There's also work and life can be quantified. You remember that some people believe that, oh, I want to spend 70% on work, 30% on this. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And so there's a need for us as people who are looking for a job and all needs to understand that you cannot apportion time. The only thing is that you need to be disciplined, and whatever you said to yourself that you want to achieve, you should be able to achieve that. The other thing I want to, people believe that once you are flexible in terms of work life, it means you are not performing. You know, some people believe this guy is easygoing, he's not paying attention, he doesn't go to office on time, and so it means the person is not working. There are some people who actually start work at dawn. And so by 9 o'clock, they are done almost half of their work. And there are others who cannot work during the day. So I have worked with people who work at night, and during the day, they are not able to work. So you need to have a view that this is how other people work. I think the most important thing is that leisure is also important in everything that we do. There's this assumption that, oh, this guy, once he's so easygoing, he likes playing, and therefore he's not performing at the office, or he's unable to deliver his numbers. It doesn't work that way. And so these are, for me, these are the misconceptions that people have. And that is why sometimes we tend to work in a manner as the book says, and not what actually we want to do, because we are different people. And if you know that this is the way you work, all you need to do is you need to let your line manager know. When I talk of line manager, I'm talking about what we in Ghana we call boss. You need to let your boss know. You need to let your family know that, sorry, I wake up early in the morning. In the first half of the morning, please, I want less distraction because I have to close. And once I'm done, I have time for you. And so once you're able to have this conversation with the people or your stakeholders, they understand you and they are able to work with you. And that is, for me, what is most important.
Okay. So have the conversation with the people who matter at work, but I mean, on the same where you just ended, the typical, so let me focus on Ghana. How often does that even happen, that let's say the work keeps coming, there's always a lot of pressure. I've heard they said the reward of for hard work is more work. And so let's say in an organization where you have set yourself apart to be the most hardworking person, or everybody knows they can count on you, there's always a lot of pressure. There's always, every work you are called every time. How do you even politely find a better way of communicating that to, let's say, your line manager or whoever is let's say you have different units, everybody knows, okay, we can call this person, we can call this person, and different people are trying to get your attention at work. How do you even effectively communicate that to them so that it doesn't look like you don't want to do the work, but you are trying to also take care of yourself in the process?
Yeah, I think that people would always give you a job because they believe you can do it. People always give you a job because they know you can do it.
Okay.
They do not give you a job because they think they are punishing you. But it is also important to prioritize. So when they have given you even 50 jobs to do, which of the jobs is important? And I take myself as example. If my general manager gives me a job to do, that becomes my number one priority. So I rate all the jobs that I have to, and I have to do the list for every day. So I do that every day, and I have every week what needs to be done. There are others, if I don't even do, hell will not break loose. And so I do that. But if you want to also go to your boss to tell him that, or other people who are giving you job, that you need help, I think the problem we have is that people don't raise their hands to say, I need help, I need support. We assume that people who keep to themselves, thinking that they can do it and deliver it, are the best people. In fact, in leadership, people who are able to raise their hands, walk to you and say, please, you gave me this work. The timeline was Monday, or it's Monday. I will not be able to deliver on Monday because I have this job to do. If you still need it on Monday, can you get another person to help close it? Okay. Leadership tend to respect people like that than for you to take the job and not deliver it. Okay. And it is not how hard you work in a corporate environment that tells that you are a good person. It's how smart you work. So people who are listening, please, it's not how hard you work. And I don't know their level. So if you are, let me put it, a junior manager, a new entrant, you want to impress so that you are confirmed. And sometimes you tend not to set boundaries. Yeah. But as you climb up, you get to understand that it is not how you work. In fact, if you get to a certain level, the job you do, you don't get promoted for the job you do. It is the job that the people who report to you do that you get promoted for. So you need to ensure that you do that. I also think that those in leadership, we need to always give credit to our team members when they do something. We are fond of always indicating that I have done my presentation. Everybody says, oh, a good job. But you do not, in that same presentation, you do not even openly say, this team member of mine was the one who pieced this together. And so sometimes we tend to take the credit for jobs that we don't do. And therefore, people don't see those who report to us what the job that they do. And so I think it's important we look at that. But please raise your hand. Always raise your hand if you know you cannot do it. Else, they will continue to bring you a lot of work, and then there will be stress. And if you cannot manage, it's assumed as you are not performing.
Okay. Thank you. So Nana Kweku 11 says, thanks, Stephen. Indeed, doing what you like helps. It is always important as a person to discover your purpose and be able to link this to the goals of your organization. Then Courage Convenience also said, does this work in Ghana? As in the whole work-life balance, does it work in Ghana? Then Nana Kweku 11 again says, our lifestyle includes work. Being able to manage work and personal goals is what people believe in. Then managing expectation is a good way to manage the stress of others who depend on your input. Courage Convenience again says, sometimes the job is pushed. Okay, it's pushed on you. I believe that's what they are trying to say. Okay, so thank you so much. I mean, so if I got what you said right, being able to, and it brings me to my next question. I'm coming to ask about how employers or organizations can contribute to fostering a better work-life balance for their employees, because like we mentioned earlier, if the people keep going and all they are doing is work, and they break down, it affects productivity as well. And you as an individual, you made mention of you as an individual in your attempt to impress your bosses or the organization, you end up probably not doing the work well, which in that regard, it defeats the purpose of what they're even trying to do at the end of the day. They're trying to impress the people by taking on work, not asking for help when you need the help, or asking for an extension when you need it. And if you are not able to deliver, now you are seen as not productive. You are seen as unproductive or not being qualified enough for what you are doing. Now, so how can then there are people here who have their own businesses as well, or who are managers, who are line managers, and so forth, and so on and so forth. And so how can employers or managers, organizations contribute to fostering a better work-life balance, so that, I mean, there will be utmost productivity, the organization goes on well, you have less absenteeism at work because people break down and all of that? How can they do that, please?
I think generally it is important that every organization understands that the people are it's its most important asset. So if you have a workforce that is productive, that is the only way the business will grow. And so if in the work environment, if it's an office setting, how has the office setting designed? The look and feel of the office alone will cause somebody to go to the office. And so you need to ensure that that is done. You must also look at what is do you practice flexible hours, where some days within the week people can decide to work from home? In my company, an employee can opt to work 2 days of his time from home. You only have to agree with your line manager the days you want to work from home. And so if you want to work from home on Wednesday and Thursday, no one stops you. You only have to deliver your ask. So people do not necessarily have to come to the office to be able to deliver that. And so people are home, they are supporting their spouses, they are making time to also work, ensuring that they deliver. So this is also one. Some companies have rigid lunch breaks. I think that is something we need to change. Do not have rigid lunch break. As and when someone believes that it is time for him to go for lunch. So if it's 11 o'clock and somebody wants to go for his lunch and come back, allow the person to go. If he has to spend 1 hour, the person must know that by 12 he has to be back and then continue doing his work. The other thing is also, what kind of tools do we give to the people? I can ask you to work from home, but if you don't have a laptop, you don't have a modem, you don't have all the tools that you need to use to work from home, then what is the usefulness of working from home? And so for me, these are few things. Some companies also register their team for some social activities. So they may have a gym, they may register their managers to go to a gym, and so the company pays for it. So you can go and exercise. Some come in the morning, go to the gym, exercise, shower, and come to the office, refresh, and they give up their best. You want to get the best out of your team, and so anything that you need to do for them. There are also important topics that you also have to run in the organization. You need to look at work-life balance. You need to look at stress, things like medical. You provide all this to take off the stress of your. If I am an employee and I know my family, a member of my family is indisposed, but I have a card, an insurance card that they can take the child to the nearby hospital or nearest hospital or clinic, you can focus on your job. So if you provide some of these little things for your employees, they tend to focus on their job and give up their best. And I think for me, these are key things that as employees, we need to provide for our employees to be able to function well.
Okay, thank you. Somebody says, okay, sales managers are suffering. We don't have such privileges. I'm wondering which of the privileges they are talking about. Maybe the flexibility. Maybe the
No, no, no,
flexibility
no.
is what
Yeah.
I'm not.
No. I think let me just the salesperson. I've been a salesperson throughout my life, and so I understand at any level of sales management. But when you are in the field and as a sales manager, you have more time than coming to the office. So I'm just informing him that the day they make him a national sales director or sales manager, he loses all the time he has for himself. He starts his day from maybe a distributor or an account, and he manages himself. But it is different from coming to an office and people not finding you on your seat.
Yeah.
And so he needs to understand that if you want to work from home, and if you are also a sales manager, because the kind of job that we do, you must always do field accompaniment. Your team are in the field, and therefore you cannot be at home. But you must also request for frequent breaks. Most sales managers don't go on leave. Most sales managers don't go on leave. In my previous business, if you don't go on leave, the leave is considered as forgone. So there are some actions that sales managers needs to do. So you can go for 1 week break, come back, because you cannot stay maybe 1 full month if you are not traveling. Yeah. So you need constant break so that you can refuel and come back. The job is quite tedious, and therefore I empathize with him. But
so the breaks in there will help. The breaks in there will help. So there's this thing I heard. I believe it was a year or two ago, and this was an employee who was very hardworking. And I was talking to a friend, and I was like, "Oh, they lost a colleague at work. I think the day before." And we were talking about it. Was like, they don't even know what the guy was looking for in this life. Everybody in the office could tell that he was overstressing himself. He was doing too much than necessary, but he didn't even see it that way. He fell sick just a day. He fell sick, let's say on Monday. By Tuesday, the guy was gone. He was dead. And the comments they passed was, we don't even know why he was worrying himself. And it makes me wonder. I mean, sometimes as we go to work, just making sure that as much as we want to deliver on our jobs, and we need to do so, we want to work smart, we want to work diligently and all of that, taking care of yourself, because we need you. I mean, you need you to be able to even do the work. And so if you break down, and this is what, let me do a little confession. This is somebody who has learned this the hard way, about knowing that you can actually break down, and it takes a while for you to rejuvenate. It takes a while for you to get back to your original self and be able to do the work. And so for me, I had to take time, realize what has been going on, like the cycle, and taking time of knowing when to say no. I am unable to do this at this time, or I can do this one. And then I mean, making time for myself to relax, or maybe weekend, if it's a weekend, and today is Sunday, if I need to take the day off, if I need to put off my phone and sleep, if I need to put off my phone and go somewhere, I should be able to do that, so that by Monday I'm not stressed out before I even go to work or start work. And so it is very important that we take care of ourselves, so that we can be very productive. And please, the employers and then the line managers and the bosses here, please, what Mr. Boafo said, your team, I'm sure there are some team members who are online with their bosses, and they are very happy about what you say. I'm sure they'll be referencing and be saying, "Oh, we need flexible lunch breaks and all of that." But it's all about doing the work, and then also taking very good care of yourself. Now, how can a person successfully achieve a satisfying work-life balance in both long and short term? So what I mean is, sometimes when you start work, you are a new entrant, let's say you're a new entrant, or not even just a new entrant, you just took on a new role in a different company or a new company. You want to do more. You want the people in there to know that you are good at what you do, or you can be committed and all of that. And so sometimes you tend to do a lot. Sometimes you tend to do a lot of work just to impress people. So I'm asking, in that time where you just started a job or you took on a new role, how can you successfully do this whole work-life balance thing, and then plan it as a long-term thing where you do it every day? It becomes something you do. It's part of you. People know that you have a fine balance between your work. Where if you are at work, you are at work. If you are home, well, you can still be doing some work, but you know when to say, I am tired, I need to take some break.
I think that if you are a new entrant or you have been recruited, there is an orientation, and every business has its own culture.
Yeah.
And I think the mistake we make is that because I'm looking for a job, any company that is recruiting, I have to go and work. That is our biggest challenge. There are some businesses that does not have structures. And so you cannot say no to anything. And do you want to go there? Fine. Some people take a decision that once there's money here, I'll work in that company, whether it will have a negative impact on my health, I don't care. So some work environments are toxic, and if you go there as a new person, remember that you are different. And I think one thing people don't know is that you have to be authentic. Authenticity is important. Yeah, people need to know you for who you are. And so during orientation and having a first conversation with your line manager, you need to be open and understand him. And so your line manager gets to understand that you have a peculiar need. Let's assume that you have a family and you have some issue with maybe one of your kids. That requires that you need to give that child a special attention, or every month you have to take the child for therapy. Don't wait till the day you don't show up at work and they ask you, that is when you are telling him. You need to open up, and once you're able to do that, he would build his schedules and ensure that that particular day you are off. I think that if you want to have a fine balance, and I've indicated that what you consider as fine balance may be different from mine.
Yeah.
And so you need to say to yourself that I have to deliver my job, because you have been recruited to do a job. If you are in the market and you are selling your own tomato that you have bought, you must ensure that you sell it. You cannot compromise that. Then the next thing is, if I'm not selling my tomato and I close from the market, what do I want to do with my child? If you are in corporate and you close from work, if you close at 8 p.m., what do you do with your time between 8 and the following morning for you to re-energize yourself? And so rest is one key thing that you need to focus on your health, because if you are healthy, then you can give up your best. You must also ensure that you nurture relationship. I think the problem we have is that most of us don't have conversation with our line managers. We don't have conversation with our spouses, our girlfriends, our relatives, our parents, to even let them know that, Mommy, I used to come visit you every week. My new job requires that even on Saturdays, we have to go to work. So I can only visit you once a month. You wait till Mommy starts complaining. That is when you tell a cousin that she doesn't know that I'm busy. It means you are not communicating. It's important and for me, what I would say is most important is you must enjoy your work. If you do not enjoy your work, every morning that you set off is like punishment. But if you enjoy the work you do, you love to go to the office or wherever you have to and deliver that. But set your boundaries also. And you need to know that this is a no-go. It's just like what some of our friends do to us on WhatsApp. It is when they are tired and they have nothing doing, that is when they hit us high. So if you go to work and you have a job to do, that is not a time for you to be chatting somebody. If it's not work related, please, the world will not come to a stand when you do not chat with people. That is not work related. So you can focus on your job and close it before you go home. Sometimes once we go to office, we use half of the day to do our personal stuff. And then when we get home, we are not doing company's job. And then we create the impression that the company does not care about us. Let's focus on the company job. When you go to office or when you go to work, do the work. When you close and you want to go and have fun, have fun. Don't mix company work with fun. And I always say, in setting boundaries, it's not only to your boss, to your friends. Everybody around you, they must know you for something. They must know that as for Adjoa or as for Steve, this time of the day, sorry, if you call him, he will be busy. So if I want to call him, I have to call him as of 5 p.m. Set boundaries and practice time management. Time is everything. And so once you're able to practice this, I am very certain you should be able to succeed in the work environment.
Amazing. Please, you said something about enjoy your work. Well, as much as everybody would like to agree with you, everybody says in Ghana, is that really a thing? Do people actually enjoy the work? I mean, okay, do people just sometimes people apply for work because there's nothing to do. They don't want to stay home. So whoever is hiring, whatever it is, so far as I meet the criteria one way or the other and I can fit in, I apply and then, hopefully I like it. But you start a job a few months down the line and you realize I'm at the wrong place, but I need the money. And so I can't quit. How do we go about that? Because if we want to, or it's just a matter of, okay, I have accepted a job, even though it is not something I want to do, or that's not what I originally wanted to do. But now that I've applied for the job, I'm now an employee of the company. I make a conscious effort to enjoy the job. Please, which one is it?
Okay, so I think I understand that maybe because the opportunities are quite limited, because the opportunities are quite limited, we tend to think that you do not get what you want. But when you go into a company and, for instance, you are recruiting salespeople and you say you want to be a salesperson, there are different types of salesmen. There are salesmen who are in charge of key accounts. There are salesmen who are in charge of distributors, what we call field sales managers. There are people who manage modern trade. So it depends on what you want. If you want to be a modern trade or key account person, manager, you need to, when you go and you are appointed as maybe a territory manager over a period of time, the first thing you have to do is to deliver. And during conversation with your line manager on your progress and opportunities, then you indicate your preference to say, within the next 2 years, if I have opportunity, I will do this.
Okay.
Remember that every line manager or every unit head is looking for the best people. So I manage, say, route to market and sales capability. If there's a candidate in another business units, and I believe that that person is a good candidate, I could talk to the line manager and say, this is your guy, why won't you let him do a rotation and come to and join me? I think also that when we take up roles, we need to understand that every role comes with responsibility. And often when leaders or line managers are having conversation, it is not you as a person. You are key account manager for customer X. And so if he's having a conversation with you, he's not mentioning your name. He's mentioning the role and the ask. So as key account manager, the expectation is 1, 2, 3, 4, and you are not delivering. This is the kind of conversation we want to have. The moment he starts bringing your name, then he is not separating you from the issue. And that is where some of us feel that, oh, my boss does not like me and things like that. But when you move into a company, you need to start asking yourself, what do you want? And initially I indicated, every company has a work culture. And so for you to go there, there should be something that would either attract you, either the way they treat their staff, or because there's opportunity to grow, or it's because of the paycheck. So if you went there because of the paycheck, then your focus should be, I'm getting a good paycheck, and so that is where my mind is. And therefore, irrespective of what people say, how I'm treated, once I get my money, life goes on and I'm happy. There are people who don't care about paycheck. They care about respect. Do they get disrespect? If they are disrespected, they would want to leave. But I think I'm not an HR person, but when people are leaving and they go through exit interview, they are not open. And it's something that maybe we need to learn. People don't tell them why they leave. And most often people leave companies because of their line managers. It's not because of the company, it's because of line managers. Only few people because they got a good offer. Most people leave because of line managers. And so if there's a line manager here, if somebody leaves your team, and it's not because the person got promoted and got into another job, you must know that it is because of you. Mostly, it's because of you.
I've actually heard a few people who have either resigned or they are contemplating resigning because of their line managers. So it's something I've heard people talk about. So yes, I agree. We are so grateful, Mr. Waffle. We have few minutes more to go, but we have learned a lot. One of the things you said when we're talking about achieving the work-life balance, either short-term or long-term, is being authentic. Is one of the things you said, and I just want to reiterate it: being your authentic self. And so, don't go creating an impression that is not you. You create an impression that is not you, and tomorrow when they give you something to do, now you can't say no because you've created a false persona at work, which we can't marry with you as a person. And so there's always a struggle in there. It's one of the things that's very striking for me as well. And then focusing on our health is really important. I think that I've seen many people, and these days that's one of the things that I have seen, or that's one of the conversations I have with like doctor friends. A lot of people are stressed. Most people, it's not because of anything. It's stress. Stress is taking most people. So you do a lot of tests, you do all the things, but there's nothing that's showing, and it's all because of stress. And so being able to work smart, asking for help when you need it, and being your authentic self, focusing on your health, and then properly managing your time. If you are at work, let's do work, and then when you close, you can focus on also you as well. And then line managers, please take care of the team, and then let the team also feel free to work with you or under you. And Mr. Buff, we are so grateful for the time you've made for us and for pouring into us. I believe that this will go a long way. We have made notes and we are taking that with us. Nana Kweku 11 says something I want to read. He says, first impressions count a lot, especially for new joiners. It's important to take care of your well-being, but equally important to deliver business targets as well. Reiterating what you said again. I'm grateful for all our neighbors online. Thank you so much. I see Sewa and Kuman, Nasam Vera, AFK, K Asantio, Ceci, Kumo, Nels, Maxo. Mensa, Nana Kweku 11, HMI Dynasty, Kwame ATP, Miss Moko, Joy Money, and then Courage Convenience Stores GH, and then King L, Ohima Gray. Please, thank you all, Priscilla Godmas. Thank you all for joining us. And then I just want to acknowledge our sponsors again, Setus Accessories and More, for all your lingerie clothing needs. Please follow them on IG, Setus GH, and then Apavon Concept for all your brand needs. Please contact Apavon Concepts on IG, Apavon Concepts, and as well Franglo Travels. I'll talk about Franglo Travels, something we've already talked about. We are partnering with Franglo Travels. I'll talk about that in just a minute. And then also Courage Convenience Stores. If you have any event, any occasion, your drinks, water needs, please follow them at Courage Convenience Stores online. So trying to balance our work life after all the hard work and all. We are planning a trip. So the real issue with Ayeki, we are planning a trip. We want to relax more. We want to go out of our home, move out of our homes to, have an experience out there, do a bit of touring around, do a bit of relaxation, and then having fun so we can rejuvenate and come back. We said we are doing that in the third quarter. And so we are looking at 4th of August. We are doing 4th August, 4th to 5th August. And so we'll put up all the details on the real issue with Ayeki. And then if you want to join us, so we are partnering with Franglo Travels to do this. We'll talk more about it in the course of the month. We'll put out the information. Please do join us, and then let's go and relax so that we can come back well rested for the job. Or Mr. Buaf is that not so? We can go and relax more, and then we come back and do the rest.
It's important that everybody needs time and have fun. I think life itself is always important that we spend quality time to unwind and rejuvenate. So,
yeah.
And
so Mr. We'll be inviting you. We'll be inviting you if you are available. We'll be inviting you so that you join us. I'm sure our neighbors would love to meet you as well.
That is fine. 4th to 5th.
Yes, please. Yes, please. We'll put out the information. And so all our neighbors, Mr. Wafo, thank you so much. We are grateful for your time, for pouring in us this evening. We're taking notes, and then we'll work and make sure that we'll come back. We'll do an evaluation of how far we have come from today to the end of the year. We'll do an evaluation of how far we have come. And so thank you, everyone, and let's have a good night. And then we'll see you on our next live session. Have a good night and bye-bye from here. Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, the song they played earlier was Soweto. And so we are acknowledging that. Thank you and have a good night.